Here on charging batteries. I'll turn my charger on here. I'm charging one of my 2200 milliamp batteries. So they'd be the same size as the ones you're going to be using. And let me put my screen off here. Seems like it's not focusing. That's better. So yeah, basically how to go about doing this is plug in your T-connector. Banana plugs in. If you don't have one of these, you have to stop your hobby store or make one. And they just look, like this. They have the male end on the charge side. Plug that in, then push your balance port and plug that into the socket for those, which will only go in one way. And then in your menu system, and I imagine your high-tech will be pretty close to the exact same. You're going to flip through. There's your different battery types. Nickel hydride, NiCad. We're going to go to, and you can also save and load your data. Yours should be able to do the same thing. Haven't really used that function much, to be honest with you, because I do so many different batteries. LiPo battery. Start, and now there's charge, different options. There's balance, charge, discharge, storage. That's where you'd store your battery as a half charge. And fast charge. I never use the fast charge function. These batteries would probably get too hot. There's really no point in using that one. So we're going to use balance because you're using the balance connector. If you don't have the balance connector, you're just doing a straight quick charge. You don't need to use that. But since we're using the balance board, and if you're using the Astro Blinky, by the way, you'd want to use the regular charge cycle, which is here. That's what you want to use. But since we're using the balance board, we'll go to balance. Here's where you set your charge rate, 2.2 amp charge rate. That's because of the 2200 milliamp battery. So that's the rate you're going to use. And you want to make sure you select 3 cell. When you hit start, it'll flash telling you can change your values. You can change them. And then it'll go over to the voltage. You can change to a 4 cell or 3 cell, whatever you need to do. So, very cool. Go back down to 3 cells, and I'll confirm that that's our parameters for charging. And then you take the balance port on the battery, plug this into the appropriate balance port on the balance board, and it only fits in one way. So that's pretty self-explanatory. You really can't put it in the wrong one because it won't fit. And then hit and hold the charge button. And hit start. Now it's charging. Shows me the output right now that it's putting into the battery. It's also showing me the current voltage of the battery, and then this is the balance of the batteries. It'll kind of like the Blinky when it's balancing. It'll go 1, 0, 1, 0, and it'll flash kind of on there. This is your charge time right here. So oh, wait a minute. Maybe that's just the time. You have to look at the manual on it. Actually, maybe that's just the time. Maybe that isn't showing you any balance feature. Maybe it doesn't show you anything. This is your milliamps. So this is kind of good to look at. You'll see how many milliamps the battery took during this charge. So it'll tell you how much battery you used during your flight. If you have a 2200 milliamp battery and you're putting 1800 to 2000 milliamps in it, that means that you're cutting your flights short enough with your flight timer and whatnot. So that's a good. And then you don't expect to see a full 2200 unless you really depleted your battery on this number. So the other thing too is when you're done charging them, I make these little clips. I dropped it. Say ready on them, and I just attach these to the charged battery leads, so that way I know which batteries are charged. So this one's ready for flight. When you get a lot of batteries and you forget which ones are charged, this is the easy way to keep track. You can even use clothespins or any other thing you can think of to attach a tag, basically, to your battery so you know what's charged and what's not. Another little thing I do is if I'm going to walk away from my battery, and I check up on occasion, but I'll put it in this little tray. If it starts on fire, you don't burn your house down. But But I would keep it in the vicinity where you're at, so that way you can check up on it routinely. So, but that's a quick overview of charging a battery. Your charger should be similar, but you read the manual. As far as menu navigation, it's actually very close to this one. Because mine is not a high-tech charger. So that is battery charging.